Good evening. Ira Epstein with your Metal Market Wrap-Up. And this wrap-up is for Monday, the 2nd of May. May Day type days going on. Cinco de Mayo's coming up too. And this is, as I said, May 2nd, 2022, your Metal Market Wrap-Up. So as we look at the markets, again, disappointment. Look at how gold down. You know, this market was just at 2003, and here we are back down to 1862. It just can't stay out of its way. Probably the biggest issue is central banks raising interest rates. Tonight, I'm waiting for the Reserve Bank of Australia to announce its rate hike. Wednesday, the U.S., our Federal Reserve, should be going with a 50-point hike, and I expect the Bank of England's going to move come Thursday. That's just right now these. Then we have a bunch of others. So this is what it's fighting, and it's not able to overcome that. So the war scenario doesn't keep it up. I'm not saying that $1,860 isn't a good price for gold. It is a strong price. But it's not like energies at $107 a barrel. So it hasn't done that type of move with the market. And as you can see, you're under 40,000 in Bitcoin. So it's not jumping with it either. So people will say, well, does Bitcoin follow gold? Does it follow the stock indices? Most people think it's correlated now to the stock indices. In the gold market for the weekly chart of closes, you're down 2.5% already. It's only the evening. This is Tuesday trade. We're only Monday evening. But we're in Tuesday trade, and we're down $49 to start the month off. And that's how the monthly chart's going to look too. When you look at the chart action, it just plain stinks. It's come apart. Yeah, you try to rally, and you can see this pretty easy right here. Here's your rally attempt, and this was Friday. The market not only didn't hold that, we'll see where the key moving averages are, it literally fell apart, and you're sort of in a free fall right now as to the question of where you might go. When you look at the moving averages, I think there was a lot of hope that you might get up to the 18-week average. That completely failed. And you sliced right through what had been a support zone, the 100-week, which puts into play, believe it or not, 1839.30, the 200-day average, along with the Bollinger Band, but you're already at the Bollinger Band. So if you ride the Bollinger Band down, 1839.30 is the next downside target. What about in momentum? Well, you're oversold. Are we embedded? You cannot count today's action. It's Tuesdays on the chart action already, so you got to go to Monday. We don't know how Tuesday's going to end up. Both numbers under 20, but if you go to the day before, they weren't. So you have an oversold market that might want to reach down from here another $24, $25 or so. Wouldn't surprise me. Is there anything I see to pick it up? Unfortunately, other than short covering, I don't know what that might be. The gold-silver ratio continues to stay well bid. It's giving up a little bit tonight, but silver continues to lose to the market, and silver's locked into a downtrend. What about an embedded reading? Embedded readings are so important. You've got to learn how to work with them. In the financial markets, I'm going to talk about a trade last night that I put out for my written subscribers and this morning for the just video people in heating oil. I don't mind telling you, I sat back and my jaw dropped today. Biggest trade that I've seen my work generate, and they're already out of half the trade today. I don't know how many years. It just exploded to the upside, let you in off this, exact what we're talking, and took you out of half the trade too. Wow. In any case, I watch this all the time. So embedded readings are so important when they develop. All right, so do we have it? Not here. Day 1 of embedding. Day 2 was on Friday. Day 3 occurred today. So now what I have in the silver market is an embedded reading. Now that's good and bad. Let me explain the first part. It tells me that now I'm going to be telling traders to sell aggressive on rallies. It also tells me if you lose that rating with a close over 21, that I'm headed back into these moving averages. So you've got to be an artist with the two, figure out where to do it. My course teaches that. While I'm talking about all that, this coming Thursday, at 12:30 p.m., I'm holding my live webinar. I open it at 12:15 so you can get in there, get yourself settled with it. I love when you send me the questions ahead of time, but when you sign up is the time to send me the questions, because then I'm preparing the charts. The day of the webinar, I'm too busy, so I'm not going to be able to do all the charts you want. Send them to me ahead of time. How do you sign up? Well, if you're on my mailing list already, I've sent out the invite. If you didn't get it, if it's not in your inbox or your spam, why am I in your spam? But in the spam, if it's not there, don't worry about it. Just take your cursor right now, move it up at any point during this video from this point on. You'll see an icon show. Click on it, fill it out, and away you go. Pretty simple. That's your invite. That's what you get. You'll then get the passcode. You'll get the instructions how to get in. I open 12:15. We start at 12:30. I finish at 12:50 p.m. It's 20 minutes. I have a timer, and I shut off very, very quickly. I don't go an extra 5 minutes. It would take some glitch somewhere for me to make that time up, and we generally don't get them. In the copper, you have higher highs, lower lows. This was my favorite market of the year, and right now it's not, but I also got out of harm's way when I told you, how can you be bullish copper when once Shanghai closed down, the shut-ins there, game over. You saw it in Hong Kong, and wait till you see their results as they come out with their recent GDP numbers. They got to be ugly. Shanghai's can't be very good because they're still shut in on 9 of the 15 districts there. Now we've got Beijing that today announced that they're closing cinemas and gyms. They've already got the public schools closed down. Certain public gatherings are limited to 50% of the people. And if you go to a restaurant, you cannot dine in the restaurant anywhere in Beijing. It's carry-out only. They're one step removed from doing what? Maybe going into shut-ins in different regions. They're dancing around it because I think most of us think it's draconian the way they do it, but that's them. In any case, higher high, lower low, riding the lower Bollinger Band. They consume 50% of the world's copper. When your major cities and your financial hubs and you can't get anything going because you can't get a part from city A to city Z within China because of these things, do you need that copper? Do you need the oil as much as you needed it? So they buy less of everything. Russia's feeling that right now. Everybody is. But we're feeling it in the supply chains. It's ugly. In the platinum market, well, you've got the trend up, you have the bias down, and you're oversold. I don't know what to do with that. The palladium market's fighting in all these moving averages, but the trend is what? It is down. You have lower highs, lower lows. Now you negate the downtrend if you can get up and over 23.19. That would suddenly give you higher lows, higher highs over that. Ideally, you stay over the 18-day average and you open up the avenue to the 25.20 level. Right now, that's if you do that. You first got to get through the pros that are probably selling the market into these moving averages. So those are the things you always got to keep your eye on. In the dollar reigns supreme. As I said, you've got a bunch of central banks this week now setting their monetary policy. Reserve Bank of Australia today, Wednesday us with our FOMC meeting, and Thursday you get the Bank of England. Then, of course, we're going to get the other central banks all joining in shortly. You're embedded until that red line closes under 79. What am I going to tell you? Each break in the market is a buy when you're embedded. Pros pump out some of what they own against Bollinger Bands, and they try to hang in there. Again, if you want to attend the live webinar, when is it? This coming Thursday. I open the doors at 12:15 p.m. Central Time. We begin at 12:30. Take your cursor, move it to the top, click the icon, fill out the forms. If you have charts you want me to cover, when you get the receipt with your password and the user ID to get into the free webinar, there's also my email address in there. Click on it and tell me what charts you want me to cover. I'll prepare them now. I'm Ira. You have a good day. Thanks for listening.